Alright folks, James back with another review on a gun for you. This one here, I know y'all have seen in a couple of my other videos, I have referred to this gun as being junk, and I will do it again. But I'm going to give you my points of view on it and reason why I say what I say about it. This is my Glock 22 Gen 4. There's a lot of negatives to this gun. Now, I'm not telling you this because I'm downing Glock, because I think as far as overall reliability, depending on which one you have and how it functions or how it's set up, can be a very, very reliable gun. And in the hands of the right person, can be very proficient and very effective. And I'm not going to take nothing away from the accuracy or the reliability of this gun. So do not get me wrong. I love the reliability and I love the accuracy of the Glock. But the most important things that I don't like about the Glock, and anybody that's watched my videos knows that myself, I am a 1911 man. And it's because I have shot these 1911s so much. That's all I've ever really owned is 1911s. But I recently acquired this Glock 22 because I wanted to see what all the hype was about Glocks. Well, what I can stand here and honestly tell you, I just dropped one of my daggum cartridges in the floor and I don't know where it went to. Alright, well anyway, I ain't gonna get this video review going if I don't start talking about the gun. Glock 22 Gen 4 chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. Okay, the first thing that I hate, and I do with a passion, and nothing to me could be any more disgusting. Excuse my phone, it keeps falling off. But nothing can be more disgusting to me as seeing a sub $700 gun. Right now, I think they're up close to $700 gun. Is this right here? I do not like being able to look between my slide and my frame and seeing daylight over halfway down the gun. I cannot stand that. I believe if you're going to build a gun and charge damn near $700 for it, it should have a better fit and finish than that right there. Now, does it affect the reliability of it? Not so far that I have seen, but I'm not saying that it won't. Because anytime you have an opening like that and you're carrying this gun every day, it can get dirt and dust and anything in there that can affect the overall function of it. My opinion. I'm not saying that it would. I haven't tested it, so I don't know. That is my number one main concern, is the way the slide sits on top of the frame. I should not be able to look at daylight all the way through my pistol. Number two thing, this is the second in line, is this trigger. If you'll look right here on the front of this trigger, and I'm pretty sure all Glocks have it, but this is that trigger lock safety or whatever you want to call it. This trigger will not do nothing until this little deal is pressed down. The problem with this is, and I'm pretty sure it can be fixed with just a simple Dremel tool, but if I'm going to pay $700 for a gun, I should not have to put a Dremel tool on it. I should not have to do anything to it to make it a comfortable gun to shoot. This trigger, after shooting it, now I have shot quite a few rounds through it. After pulling this gun several times with a 7-pound trigger pull, and we'll get into that one here in just a minute too. But after shooting this gun several times, boom, 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 you come up with the deal, since this safety mechanism is not flush with the front face of your trigger, you wind up with an indentation in your finger from squeezing that trigger. And to me, it's very uncomfortable. Now, this is shooting it the way most people would shoot it, with the pad of your finger. Me, I put my finger all the way through and I shoot with the first knuckle. That's the way I've always shot. It's the way I do. So really, I can't really feel it, but if most people, they would be able to feel it. And if I'm doing a review on a gun, I'm going to find the way most people would shoot a gun versus the way I shoot. And with most people shooting a gun, with this being a little higher than the face of your trigger, I can sit here and tell you by just doing this right here. Like if I'm shooting this gun, boom, 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 and squeezing this trigger consistently 15 to 20 times, you get them indentions in your finger. Yeah, you can't see it real good, but it's there. All right, that's number 2. Number 3. Now that I'm a 1911 man, you got to understand I'm used to very light, very short trigger pulls. Now this one has a fairly long reset compared to my standards. And it has also a fairly long trigger pull compared to my standards. Now, with that being said, there's also, once it's reset, you got a lot of take up. That take up, just that take up is longer than my whole action is on my 1911. My 1911 wouldn't even be half that, and probably not even 1/4 of that. And then once you hit, there's a wall right there. It has a lot of, it has a spongy feel. Okay, there's a spongy there. Then once you hit that point to where, once you get that softness, sponginess feeling out of it, then you still have another 1/4 of an inch to come back before it actually trips. Now with that, just that little bit I've done, once you look at my finger, you see that indentation in my finger? So after a few rounds of being shot through the Glock, to me it would be uncomfortable on the finger. Okay, that's 3. The number 4 reason I really don't like this gun is because of these right here. Now, person with these size hands, once I go in here to get on my grip, as you notice, that first finger is already overfilling that groove right there. The second finger, when it comes in, it's sitting on top of this one right here, if you'll notice. So once I come in here, well, sorry, I'm doing it the wrong way. Once you see that ring finger, it's already sitting about halfway across top of it. And now, my pinky, there's not enough room here for my pinky to get in. So now my pinky is sitting well up over the top of the bottom of the pistol grip. So when I'm shooting this gun, my hand is actually bigger than the pistol grips. And with these finger grooves here, it makes it uncomfortable for me to shoot. So when I come in, you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Another thing is I'm used to having a hammer on my gun. Because once I'll chamber a round into my gun, if I'm going to go to sleep at night or something and lay it around on the dresser, I like to take and release that hammer to take the tension off my springs. The next morning I get up, and then I'll pull my hammer back and I'll flip my safety up. I'm on a cotton lock position. But you see, that's the difference because I'm used to carrying a 1911. When it comes to the Glock, I don't have that hammer to manually release the tension off my spring. So therefore, I have to drop my magazine, rack the slide, take that cartridge out, pull the trigger, release the tension, then put that cartridge back in the magazine, put the magazine back in the gun. Therefore, when I get ready to shoot this gun or get up the next morning, I actually have to rack the slide and then to reload it. I don't like all that. Okay. Therefore, again, since it does not have a safety, that's another negative. In a house that, like I live in, I have a little girl. And I teach her about the do's and the don'ts. You know, you see a gun, you don't touch it. A lot of families ain't like this. I keep my guns put up, and I keep them locked. But all it takes is one scenario where you ain't paying attention, you take your gun out just for a short time, you lay it up somewhere, a kid comes along, grabs it up, boom, something bad just happened. With a safety on it, the chances of that happening is greatly reduced. So in a house with the kids, this gun, I would say, could be very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. That's another reason why I don't like it. Another reason why I don't like it is because of the sights. Now, I'm used to the 1911 GI models, which has stationary sights on it, which this is the same way. That is a downfall for me for 1911s is iron sights. It's not adjustable. That's a downfall on the Glock. I don't like it because I don't have the option to adjust my sights other than maybe windage on the back here. I can bump it from one side to the other a little bit to negotiate that. All right, there's another downfall. Another downfall to the Glock that I don't like is the degree of angle of this pistol grip. Like I said, you compare this pistol grip to the pistol grip of the 1911. This is more vertical. This is more laid back. I don't like that. Therefore, but you know, if this is what you're accustomed to, you may enjoy that, or you may be able to adapt to that. To me, I can't, because I'm always carrying a 1911. I have tried to customize myself to it, but it just don't work. Another reason why I don't like the Glock is because I don't have the options to change my pistol grips. What it is what it is. I can't take these off and replace it with a different style. I can't replace the sides on it. Like, for instance, if I wanted to customize, like, say, my 1911, where I got German silver pistol grips with bronze inlays. It says Texas on one side. There you go, Texas on one side. You got a standard old Eric on the other side. With that, I can't do this with that. What it is what it is. That's it. All right. Now, with that being said, some of the good things I like about this gun is it is very easy to take down. Unlike my 1911s, where I have to sit here, depress a spring plug, take the spring out of it, take the barrel bushing off, take the receiver pin out of it, slide pin, whatever you want to call it, slide retainer pin. You know, all this is all configured into one little mechanism right here, and it's fairly simple. You just, you know, it's nothing to it. I like that. It's easy to get in here and easy to clean. Okay. Another thing I like about the Glock is that with this gun right here, you take its barrel out. Now, I also have a 9mm barrel, and I also have a 357 SIG barrel. But all I have to do is just remove this one, slide one of the other barrels in there, put my recoil spring back in there, slide that in there, come right back in here like this right here, and I can change caliber of this gun in less than 30 seconds. I can go from a 40 to 9mm or a 9 to a 357 SIG in less than 30 seconds. I have the magazines to correspond with the barrels. That's a plus sign that I do like about the Glock. But with all the barrel changing and quick caliber change, the easy takedown, to me, the simplicity of this gun and the pros of this gun, to me, just does not outweigh the negative. So the positive on this one, to me, just does not outweigh the negative. And another thing I was going to tell you that I don't like about this gun, and I almost forgot, but is the weight of the trigger pull. Now, I think that if you're going to spend $700 for a gun, it should have something more than a 7.5 pound trigger pull. I'm sorry to say, that 7.5 pound trigger pull, to me, is very uncomfortable for a personal defense handgun. Where you take a gun, say like my ATI 1911, that has a 3.5 pound trigger pull, just very minimal take up, no sponginess or nothing, versus the Glock 22 that has quite a bit of take up, has a spongy trigger, and it also has a 7.5 pound trigger. Boom, you actually have to squeeze it for it to go off. That was another negative I almost forgot to tell you. So a $700 handgun, to me, I think that it should be a lot more there than what Glock is putting into these guns for that price. In fact, the sad thing of it is these aren't even chrome barrels. These are just steel barrels. They're not even chromium plated. Even the inside, if you can look in there, they're not even chrome plated barrels. I don't know if they're stainless steel with some kind of coating in them or what it is, but they are not chromium barrels. As for instance, say This $300 1911 chrome barrel, really nice finish, $300, less than $300 versus almost $700. So even with the good I can say about the 3 different barrels, that's interchangeable, the calibers of it, it's like owning 3 guns in one. But to me, that, even though I can change it to a 9mm, I still got the fact that I can see daylight through here. I still have the fact that I don't have a hammer on it. I don't have a safety on it. The degree of angle don't never change. The pistol grip here does not change. The amount of force it takes to make the gun go off does not change. I still have this piece of crap trigger in it. So, therefore, again, since I can change 3 barrels, that means I've got 3 Glocks that I don't like. Because if it's shooting a 9mm, if it's shooting 357, I'm still not going to like what I've got in my hand. This is one of them things I wanted to see what the whole hype was about. Get a Glock, get a Glock, get a Glock. I got a Glock. Now, I'm wishing I could get rid of the Glock, because this is one mistake that I would never do again. Now, I'm not saying it's not reliable. I'm not saying it's not accurate. I'm saying that I don't like it because of the way it is. Some people say you love them or hate them. It's either a love-hate relationship. Well, this relationship here is a hatred. Down and dirty hatred. So, with that being said, that's my review on the Glock 22 Gen 4. If you like it, leave a comment. If you don't, leave a comment and let me know what you think about it. So, y'all have a good one.